the internet is talking about Met Gala. One of the grandest events of the year is here. In fact, it happened just about a couple of hours ago. And it is called fashion's biggest night. It became even a tad bit special for Indians because this time around we're seeing a lot of Bollywood debuts. There on your screen is King Khan as he made his debut on the red carpet. Not the man we often see on red carpet at all. And he talks about it. There is also so many others that we'll take you through. There was Kiara Advani who featured her baby bump for the first time. Internet can't stop talking about that. And then there is Diljit Dosanjh, who's made a mega entry in his own style, true to his sense, blending in tradition and yet making it so modern. A lot of Indian designers also this time around who have made a debut. You've got Sabyasachi, you've got Manish Malhotra, Gaurav Gupta, and a lot more.
Right, okay, let's very quickly bring on a guest to break this down for us so we can properly break down our looks. That is Manish Malhotra. You can just see the gorgeous embroidered outfit he wore. Now let's tell you a little bit. The theme of the Met Gala this time was Black Dandy. And it celebrates a very particular interpretation of fashion. It's not just fashion, it's counterculture. And we'll talk a little bit about how different designers interpreted it, because one of the most fascinating things is watching how designers take a theme and take it and marry it with whatever it is that the star stands for. Internationally, stars like Zendaya and Rihanna have, over the last few years, become famous not just for their own work off the red carpet. Their fashion is to watch for here, their intelligent interpretations. And so just to go over, to understand this a little bit more, we have designer Didi joining us this morning. Shvangi Lahoti, thank you for joining us. Shvangi, you've joined us on the show multiple times before. Before we get any further, what does Black Dandy mean? What does that theme mean? How does one interpret it as a designer? And your favorite Indian look? Then we'll go deeper.
Okay, all right. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Toya. So Black Dandyism is actually a really powerful concept. It's all about black men who have historically used fashion, especially tailoring, as a form of self-expression, pride and resistance. It is something that goes beyond style. It's actually political in a lot of ways, right? It's about saying I belong, I have agency, and I'm going to be seen on my own terms. At a time and era, we're talking about historically, we're talking about, emancipation in America. We're talking about the Harlem Renaissance. We're talking about all of those things that impacted the black identity. And this is sort of a resistance in a way. It's a political statement where you're trying to come out there and taking influences, of course, from the European, Western culture. Men and women both coming out and taking ownership for their space and saying that this is how they want to show up. And it's more about identity. And I think that is something very powerful. And at a time like this, I feel representation really matters.
It's quite a statement, yeah.
It's very exciting to see, all of these amazing celebrities that we look up to, or we've grown up seeing turn up on the Met Gala for like one of the biggest fashion events of the world, right? One of the biggest global fashion phenomena, and show up in these crazy outfits with their own representation of the Black Dandy. Having said that, it's hard to pick one when it comes to picking my favorite, because come on, I'm a Shah Rukh Khan fave girl.
Yay!
I have grown up like just drooling over SRK my whole life, right? So it's really hard. And considering the fact that this is the first time he's walking the red carpet for Gala, it was so iconic. And the K was not Kiran, the K was actually
Khan.
Khan. And it was the king, right? So it was so iconic. I absolutely loved the layering of, jewelries. I loved the little stick, the scepter that he had, the tiger, which was again symbolic of Sabyasachi and the Bengal tiger, of the designer. I think that was one of my favorite looks. Although there's been like a lot of hue and cry about Gaurav Gupta's look being something that has been done in the past.
Yeah, but before we
go to Kiara,
before we move on to Gaurav Gupta, I just want to spend another moment on SRK because this look deserves that. We actually have some of the moments captured on the red carpet that have been picked up and some of the stuff that he had to say. Let's quickly listen.
My designer, Sabyasachi, he thought of it, and for him it's an expression of freedom and trying to be resolute and resilient against things that can oppress you. So, yeah, being an actor, I thought it was very interesting how the resolve to change things without attrition or anger, but have exuberance of art in it. So, yeah, that was marvelous.
Such an SRK thing to say. Such an SRK thing to say.
It's just such a, I don't know, special moment of pride to finally see him on an international stage like that one, you know, a fashion one. Because we've seen him in other aspects, but not bring his style out. And he does have such a specific style.
And
but
can
Shivangi,
can I say my favorite line he has said so far on the red carpet? Shivangi's gone on mute, I think. But this favorite line that he said on the red carpet, I think the host asked him, "Who are you dressed as?" And he said, "I'm dressed as SRK."
Of course he did.
He didn't. There wasn't an inspiration. There was nothing. It was such an iconic SRK look, yet elevated by Gala. So kudos to Sabya for that as well.
He's also, I think, in the past said my biggest role or my favorite role is playing SRK. So it ties into that. But Shivangi, the other person I really want to touch on that had the internet talking before we get to Kiara is Diljit Dosanjh. So let's talk a little bit about that, because that was also typical Diljit Dosanjh in the sense that he used this moment to give an ode to culture, to his own culture, to stand tall. Walk us through the thought that went behind his look.
So, okay. If I talk about Diljit Dosanjh, while the internet seems very divided on the entire look, I think it's quite a statement. I feel like the way he's paid tribute to his, culture and, where he comes from, and the way he sort of, I absolutely love the tripanch. I love the complete look with the matching turban, the opulence of it all, the dripping in diamonds and kundans and jadaus with golecha jewels, all of those sort of complementing the whole look. It made it look so put together, and I think the significance of it was he was really embracing the royal side. He was really showing, and I think Prabal as a designer, he's a Nepalese designer. Prabal Gurung, the way he actually embraced Indian culture into that one look, because that is where you sort of merge Indian identity into Black Dandy. When you talk about it and when you think about it, how do you merge, or what is it that, the intersection? I feel like Diljit Dosanjh's look was right bang on. It was exactly what we needed in terms of interpreting, Indian traditions and roots and our culture and history, and sort of merging it with, the Black Dandyism, which stands for individuality, which stands for making stand for yourself, right? And being seen. And I think you can't be seen better than, the way just that.
And again, very, very classic Diljit Dosanjh style, because his phrase that he keeps saying everywhere, right? Like Punjabi aage hoye. He did arrive. The Punjabis did arrive on Met Gala with him, with everything that he does and says. It was so true. Requesting our producers to also pop up those pictures for Diljit Dosanjh. Absolutely stunning. The way the entire look has been crafted. Again, kudos to Gurung for having done that. Not a mainstream designer that we hear of so often in the space of couture, but so good.
Huge on the international stage.
Yes.
Priyanka Chopra has worn him a ton of times too. Yeah. But let's also, until we wait for those visuals, let's talk a little bit about Priyanka. All the rest, Priyanka and Nick over there. I think Priyanka was wearing Bulgari. She's always wearing Bulgari. But that look, I think, was a Valentino look. Talk a little bit about that, and also talk to us about, there was others. There was Kiara, there was Isha Ambani, but there was also Manish Malhotra.
Yeah.
Love seeing a designer on the red carpet.
Can I say what I noticed, the beauty of, and I don't know if it has been spotted by so many others. Kiara Advani had a gold umbilical cord.
Yeah.
She debuted her baby bump there, and she had a gold umbilical cord, which I think is so thoughtful.
Connecting the heart of the baby with the heart of the mother.
Oh my God, this is so special, so thoughtful. I just loved how the entire group has been, how the entire look has been put together. What do you think?
For me personally, I'm pregnant at the moment. So for me, the most
Congratulations.
beautiful, thank you. So the most beautiful look that I could talk about after SRK, because of course there's a bias there, has to be, this very stunning outfit that Kiara was wearing. I absolutely loved the breastplates. I loved how the umbilical cord was tying together the whole thing. And the symbolism of it all, right? The way Gaurav thought about it in a way where he wanted to tie together, sort of individuality, but at the same time, how generations get impacted and how every new generation, the birth of a new generation, comes with newer opportunities, and to show that through that entire corseted silhouette, although it's very feminine, it's not very masculine, but
But very edgy, very edgy. You look at the cuts there. Look at I don't know what it's called. The thing that flows at the back. You can
The train.
The tray.
Yeah.
How it came, how all of it came together. It was so nice. I've not seen a look like that in a while.
I feel she looked like a diva. She looked like a goddess. She looked like in full glory, and she was glowing. The mom glow was there. She looked absolutely stunning. I think that was one of my favorite looks. So two of my favorite looks right there.
There we go. We've also just pulled up Diljit Dosanjh on the screen for a second, so you can take in. This is really the look that Shwangi, you touched on. It has divided the internet in some ways, but I love that you say that this is your favorite look because of just how carefully it ties together the theme, Black Dandy, and the Indian roots that he's trying to bring to the fore, the touch of royalty he's trying to bring to the fore. Shwangi, very quickly, as we keep those visuals of Diljit front and center for our audiences.
I'll tell you what also, Toya, in terms of tying together this look, I personally feel that there's a very deep cultural expression here because historically also Indian men, all our Maharajas, when you look back, right, they have had a very intricate relationship with elegance. Whether it's the intricate embroideries on their garments or the jewels. If you go to any of the Indian historic museums, you'll see these references. And to embrace it so openly at a time and era and at a stage like the Met Gala and, reclaiming our heritage, taking our bandgalas and our sherwanis to like a global platform and like just flamboyantly but yet like very subtly putting it out there that asi whatever
Punjabi
and on the cloak on the back also he's put up visuals of the embroidery that was done there. It's all very, very symbolic. Okay, Shwangi, what we haven't been able to talk about with you, and we are running out of time right now, but just tell us overall your favorite Met Gala look, because we've talked about all the Indian looks, we haven't talked about any international ones, but this year there doesn't seem to be a viral standout moment. You've had, Rihanna, for example, Timothy Chalamet, they've in the past worn these absurd looks that really stay with you. I can't see any of that happening right now. Is it too early to say that?
Or that meme which Priyanka Chopra had,
of
that
course,
brown
which came out of
jacket.
her outfit.
I will not forget how somebody called it Chai Ke Upar Ki Malai.
But also I do want to tell our audiences, Rihanna came on the street and confirmed this time, instead of on the Met Gala, that she is pregnant. That's A$AP Rocky, that's her partner who she's pregnant with once again. But she did it on the street. In the past she's done it. In the past she's done it on the red carpet. But this is him talking about the good news.
So I think for me, one of my favorite looks
One sec, Shivangi, one sec.
Oh.
Feels amazing, It's tired of holding that, and it's time to just show the people what we was cooking up, and I'm glad everybody's happy for us because we definitely happy,
He's also known for his style. Just A$AP Rocky is all about the style. But let's just go very quickly back to you, Shivangi. You were talking about, has there been a viral moment this time, overall?
I think one of the most iconic moments that I feel, and I feel like it's still unfolding. I feel like there's still a lot more happening with the Met Gala. We're still in the wee early hours of the evening there, so there's going to be a lot more after party looks and everything else. But currently for me, I think Mona Patel has stolen the show.
Let's talk about that.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I love the custom Tom Brown look. I love the robotic dog from MIT. I love the 3D printed hat that they did for her, the embellished corset. I love the little whiteboard detailing.
Absolutely.
Oh
I'm
my
so glad
God.
you brought it up. Yeah.
It was just so stunning, so iconic. And I think every year I feel like this woman just it a notch higher. And who better than Tom Brown when it comes to, tailoring, right? He's literally writing love letters to tailoring on an everyday basis, and to pick somebody like him as your designer for the Met Gala, I think is amazing. I loved, the customized movement that they had with the dog. It was so iconic, the way the dog was sort of walking. It was just so iconic. All of it put together. The bag that she was carrying, the whole look was very dandy, very dandy actually. I think she actually served, the theme just how it was supposed to be. So
Mona Patel, I think even last year when her first look burst onto the scene at the Met Gala, everyone was like, "Who is this person?" I believe she's actually a businesswoman, but just someone with excellent fashion taste, a fashion nerd, if we may. And that's why I think you can see those very, very carefully made references. This is a student of history, ladies and gentlemen, right? The fashion history.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll leave it there for the moment. But thank you so much, Vangi, for joining us and decoding all those looks. She rightly said we've just seen the start of it. Many more will unfold as the day progresses.